Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to The Hague. Welcome to the Netherlands, as far as you are from abroad. I'm very glad that you are here in such high numbers. When we first thought about organizing this meeting, we said, okay, let's say 250, perhaps 270. And now we are almost at 380. So that's a very good turnout from 57 different countries. So it's really international. On the side there are three ladies who want to say a few words to you. First, I would like to introduce Mrs. van Engelshoven. She is Deputy Mayor of the City of The Hague and Alderman. And can I please ask you to come here?
Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome to you all here in The Hague. And our city is proud to have the honor of hosting the Silver Jubilee meeting of the International Society for Neonatal Screening. I think it's appropriate to congratulate you with this Silver Jubilee. The Hague, maybe you know it as the political center of the Netherlands. We have been that for centuries. But it's also the city where the whole world is at home in many different ways. Almost every language of the world is spoken here in The Hague, and every faith of the world is practiced here in The Hague. The Hague is home to over 500,000 people, people with roots in many different countries and cultures, all of whom belong now to the city of The Hague. And since the end of the 19th century, The Hague has steadily evolved into the international city of peace and justice that it is today. In The Hague, we strive for a world where the rule of law prevails rather than the rule of the jungle, and where those who think they can flout human rights are called into account before the International Criminal Court. With the Peace Palace as its symbol, the Peace Palace that opened its doors more than a century ago, just a stone's throw away from here, we are working day in, day out to work for a better world, a world in which peace prevails. But a better world is also a healthier world. This World Forum, where you are today, is a regular setting for major international conferences, such as the Nuclear Security Summit in 2014, where Obama visited, and the Global Conference on Cyberspace last year, and of course, this meeting. Also today and this weekend, there was a start here in the same building of the Global Parliament of Mayors. So you are on good international ground. As a deputy mayor, I'm also responsible for youth care in the Hague. And so I know from a daily basis from my work how important your work is. Because in youth care, prevention is key. And that's exactly the field where you are working in. In The Hague, we have a strong cooperation, for example, with the Leiden University Medical Center in research on public health. And that's exactly what you do, enhancing public health. And with public health, you also enhance public safety in the world. Because if people are more healthy, the world will become more peaceful. So what you do is also in the core of what we do here in The Hague. And what you do is of great importance for every city of the world. So I wish you all a very fruitful conference, and I hope that in my work I can use the results of your work. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, and we would also like to thank you, at least the City of The Hague, for its financial contribution to make this possible. And there is one other connection between the City of The Hague and our community. You may not have noticed, but on the crest of The Hague there is the stork. And the stork, of course, is known to be connected to newborns. Okay, our next guest is Mrs. Marianne Donker. She is Director of Public Health of the Ministry of Health, Welfare and Sport in this country.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. As a representative of the Dutch Minister of Health, Welfare and Sports, it really is a privilege to be able to give you a short welcoming address. You have come here from many different countries, all over the world, to speak and hear about improving the health of newborn infants. More specifically, your interest is to identify those children who may be affected by congenital, metabolic and other diseases and getting them referred to pediatricians in time before health damage has occurred. Neonatal and newborn screening programs have been developed in many countries, and you have all our testimony to that. But although the principles are essentially the same everywhere, the way the programs have been structured and the panel of diseases that is screened for vary considerably from country to country, from province to province, and even sometimes from city to city. Such variation has disadvantages and advantages. A disadvantage may be that infants in different locations have unequal access to care, although such care is available and might benefit them. The advantage is that it stimulates discussion among you, the professionals, on the way of setting up those programs and what is useful and what is not. It really gives us an opportunity to move forward and to really find what benefits these children and their parents. As policymakers, my colleagues and I, we are listening to you and try to support you in your scientific enthusiasm, but at the same time, of course, keeping an eye on the financial, political, ethical, and social limits of those screening programs. In the Netherlands, for instance, we recently decided to expand our newborn screening with 14 diseases. So we are moving from screening on 17 to 31 diseases in the near future. And in this process, we also decided, for what we think are good reasons, not to put some other diseases on the list, or at least not yet. We make well-considered decisions by balancing carefully the technical possibilities, the expected health improvement, the advantages and disadvantages for newborns and their parents, and also the parents' right not to know. In this complex and ethical consideration, benefits for the parents and newborns is of central importance. And it is always very important to keep in mind that knowledge of things to come is not always a benefit as such. What might happen after knowing is an important element to consider when weighing the benefits and the disadvantages of screening. I have learned that the ISNS is celebrating 25 years of organizing symposia, conferences, meetings, and workshops in many places in the world. And I'm very glad that for this symposium you have chosen The Hague, which is the seat of the Dutch government, and which of course then is also my place of work every day. I do hope that you enjoy staying here, that you have a good exchange of knowledge and experience, and that you will return to your homes with new ideas to implement there. I thank you for your attention.